Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you everything I ate on my 5 days adventure in Tokyo. Also, I'll highlight some of my best eats. Warning, there's going to be a lot of food, so let's get the food adventure begin. This night, I had just landed in Tokyo from Fukuoka, and so I wanted some comfort food. I thought long and hard, but my heart ultimately chose this place. I've actually been here a few months ago when I was in Tokyo, and it's an unadon restaurant. This is a classic grilled eels over rice. They ultimately only serve this one dish, however, you can choose the different type of eels and the amount of unagis you want with your rice. I don't know about you, but every time I eat unagi, I always think of Ross in Friends, where he said unagi is a type of karate concept. I just laughed so hard at that scene. So does anyone think of it, or is it just me? Since I had featured this place before in my previous video, I'll just quickly talk about it. This is a big unadon restaurant branch, so just check if there's any location near your hotel. What I like about this restaurant is the way they grill their eels and make it very nice and crispy. The flavor is on a bit of a bland side, but you can definitely add more sauce to get it to your liking. I, however, wiped my bowl clean and feeling really full, so I went out to do some more touristy things. We're gonna see our luck for 2025. 100 yen. This? The best fortune. The next place I went to is a yakiniku restaurant near my hotel. It's very normal for a lot of these barbecue places to be on the second, third, or even fourth floor of a building. I'm so glad this place have an English menu, but I ordered their 7 cuts of luxury beef because I had no other idea what type of beef I want, and also a separate portion of beef cheeks. This is something I think about so often since my last visit in Japan because I can never find beef cheeks in the state. Almost, if not all barbecue places I've been to only offer maximum beef tongues and not beef cheeks. It's basically a thin slice of wagyu, almost like a brisket, but it's more tender and flavorful. Almost instantly melts in your mouth when you eat it. Like, not all restaurants do this kind of cut, and honestly, I've been to some in Tokyo and it was not good. However, this place is just perfection. Moving on to the best seller. This is 1 slice from each cut of Sendai beef, and I did a little research for you. But basically, Wagyu is graded based on 2 factors, their yield and their firmness. The best being A5, which is at least 72% of meat ratio to their carcasses, and 5 for the most fine texture. And Sendai beef is the only one luxury beef in the whole country, which represents A5. The owner labeled the different cuts of the pieces, but to be honest, I do not know Japanese, so I don't know which is which. I just know that it tasted really, really good. I noticed that it's more common that the beef is not marinated in any sauce and really just let the natural taste shine through. There's a sauce on the side if you need to dip it, but it really stands out on its own, so I'm really here for the Wagyu. I said this before, but what I'm really looking for is the type of food that melts in your mouth, and almost all the meat on this plate did exactly that. I was mind blown by the different texture, the marble vegetables and the richness of each pieces. And even though I love all the pieces, there was one, the last piece, that I could not bite through. It could most likely be the way I cooked the meat, but it was really hard to bite through it. It was very firm and I could not eat it. I gave up. This thing, I cannot chew through it. I cannot eat this. I'm full. So whenever I come here, I always eat beef cheeks, and so that is also my favorite out of all of the meat that I ate today. But overall, it's pretty good, and I pay around 4,000 yen, which is $30, $36. Not too bad for really good quality meat. Would recommend. So one thing I haven't had yet in Japan is tonkatsu. So that's what we're gonna have for lunch today. Let's go! I decided to ditch that plan because the line was way too long and went for a sushi place next door because when in doubt, always choose sushi. This place didn't have an English menu, so I translated the menu and found out that they have an omakase option. I selected the 8-piece omakase and the chef got started with my sushi. It's so good. The next piece is scallop and I love scallop. It is exactly what you imagine. Soft, buttery, melts in your mouth. One word is that it's perfection. The next piece is achi or horse mackerel. This is different than saba, which is blue mackerel. It has a bit of a firmer, chewier texture. The next piece is a very vibrant maguro or tuna. And at this point, I am just zoning out at how delicious each pieces were and that I could not believe I am having this amazing meal. This piece is toro or fatty tuna. It's basically the meat from the belly or the outer layer of a tuna, which has a higher fat content. This beautiful looking piece is kohada or gizzard shad, and it's sweet, it's rich, the skin, it's so interesting. Also, a little fun fact, it symbolizes good luck and longevity. This is something so beautiful. Let me show you. And this has to be ebi or shrimp, but look at it. It doesn't look like your typical ebi nigiri. And the sauce on top adds a little bit smokiness to it, almost like the unagi sauce. Then the chef gave me complimentary rolls, like I so appreciate it. I think it's mushroom, it's crunchy, chewy, and slightly sweet. He just said it's vegetable, I don't know what it is, but it's so good. I have never seen a place that rolled their egg omelet like this. This tamago sushi is so different than all the other ones I've ever tried because for one, look at how they present it, and two, the rice is flavored instead of the typical white sushi rice. So I ordered some sashimi because it was so good. They said this is squid. So creamy and smooth, like also chewy. And this is the same fish we had before in the sushi, which is achi, horseshoe mackerel, and I really love it. And this orange looking thing is a kagai or arc shell. It's crunchy and chewy, slightly sweet with the umami taste. I'm not kidding when I say that I think of this meal whenever I think of sushi or reminded of this trip. And this is fatty tuna. Look at the marbles. So beautiful. So if you couldn't already tell, this is literally my favorite sushi place and I will go back here every time I'm in Tokyo, and I hope the next time is gonna be very soon because I miss it so much. I was gonna eat tonkatsu, but there is literally a long line. It's probably like gonna be 45 minutes to wait. And so I decided to eat sushi, and it's the best decision ever. I had their lunch omakase. It was so good. The only regret I have is not choosing the bigger pieces set. I only got their 8 pieces, or was it 10? I don't know, they gave me a bunch. But I could have gotten like their 16, 18, 20 pieces. But now I'm so full and I'm so happy. Today's dinner, we're eating ramen. This next place is known for their salt ramen, which has the typical ramen shop ordering system. That is to use the machine by the door, pay it with cash most of the time, and then it will print out a ticket to hand it to your server. You then can sit down and pour yourself a cup of water that is provided on the table. And then in about 5 minutes, your food is ready for you to eat. I got the clam basil salt ramen, which looks so green. I mean, it's probably from the basil. And then the roasted pork is on the side, so you can dip it in whenever you're ready. I also got the side of egg. The broth tastes like the water you get after you boil clams, but make it more earthy and herbally. The noodle is stretchy, lengthy, and chewy, which, you know, I don't want soggy noodles. And the ham is perfectly seasoned. I feel like I could eat this by itself, which I did. And the whole time I was thinking, how did they boil this egg to get this texture? But beside the really good roasted pork and boiled egg, I feel like this is not my favorite kind of ramen, and I feel like I could skip it next time. So pretty. I'm in Kamakura. Good morning. So today we're in a little bit of a different area. This is my first time in Shinjuku, Ikebukuro, but we're gonna get tonkatsu. Let's go. Since I couldn't get tonkatsu the other day, I made sure to eat it today. My favorite way of finding a restaurant when I travel is by Googling up the type of restaurant that I want to eat in a location that I will be in or am already in. This way, I really maximize my chance of finding local spots and also discover new places that I would have never known if it wasn't spontaneous. So you go inside and you buy a ticket on the machine, and by the way, the machine doesn't have English, so I honestly just selected whatever. So I have no idea what I'm even getting. This place got a really good review online, and so I decided to head to this location, and there was already a line by the time I got there. I waited maybe 15 to 20 minutes until a staff member comes out and collect my ticket and direct me to where I'm sitting. At my table, there were at least 4 bottles of sauce, and I didn't know about this, but the biggest bottle is the homemade tonkatsu sauce. I only found out because the guy next to me saw that I was using the wrong sauce and told me about it. I am so embarrassed. And the rest is just salt, sesame, salad dressing, soy sauce, and radishes. And of course, you got your own tea refills. I ordered the premium fillet tonkatsu, and at first glance, it looks undercooked because of the pink color, but it's not. The pink color is because the meat is coated in breadcrumbs and then deep fried, so the oxygen is just trapped in the center, making it very moist and juicy. And the outer layer is crunchy and crispy from the breadcrumbs. The meat is not marinated in anything, so it could be a bit bland eating it with rice, but with the homemade sauce, that adds a bit of tamarind flavor, which is so yummy. Moving on to the salad, which is just shredded cabbages, and I definitely recommend you to add the sesame dressing. It's very much the same as the Kewpie sesame dressing. Last but not least is the vegetable soup, which is so warm and hearty. It's just nice to wrap up this wonderful meal. Last but not least is this restaurant I stumbled upon because all the restaurants in the nearby area were closed, and it should not surprise you that it's another yakiniku place. The waiter gave me the English menu and I just asked what is the bestseller, and he pointed to the top, which is green onion tongue salt. The first plate is the beef tongue with lots of green onions. He was so nice and grilled it for me because honestly I would not know, like, is it grilled separately or is it together? I would not know, okay? So I'm glad he did it for me. But the meat cooked really fast, and then I was told to squeeze a little bit of lemon juice on top to add a little tangy flavor. I did not have any expectation because I had beef tongue before and it wasn't my favorite meat, but this just tastes so differently. It honestly tasted like a chewier version of beef brisket, but because of the green onions and lemon juice, it distracts the scent away from the typical organ meaty aftertaste.
Oh my gosh, this is so good. The scallion really adds freshness.
I also ordered the short ribs and harami because I was not yet full. To be honest, I have no idea what type of meat harami is, but isn't that the fun thing about traveling? Is that you see all the different types of food that you don't know and then you get to try it. But back to the meat, the server grill everything to its perfect state and then I dip it into the egg yolk, and that just adds another level of taste and creaminess, and it combines so well together. And now I'm really full. Well, that wraps up everything I ate in Tokyo. This trip is nothing but delicious food and amazing memories. It's time for me to fly back home, but my heart will always be in Japan. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye!